Hello and welcome to our webinar series on improving productivity and efficiency in senior living using the Status Solutions SARA system. This morning we have two presenters, Chris Prada, who's the Regional Manager with Status Solutions, and myself, Director of Marketing here at Unity Connected Solutions. And we're going to walk you through an overview of SARA, which stands for Situational Awareness and Response Assistant. A key reason for doing this is that we tend to think in terms of the technology we're used to, so what we currently know when we're evaluating the usefulness of new technologies, and perhaps only considering in the light of it as a direct replacement, and not necessarily what else it can do for us. And this is exactly the situation we often encounter when we're first talking to people about SARA. Most people are only familiar with standalone technologies like call bells or nurse call systems when we talk to them. And while a system like SARA can replace these, it can also replace them with significantly increased functionality and offer many more capabilities that may not be apparent at first. Some of the concepts that need to be considered are the ability to automate routine tasks, improving response time, ensuring emergency plans are effected correctly and in a timely manner, built-in escalation and thorough reporting, and the fact that this is an integrated solution. A single solution that can cover notification, response, and monitoring, and it can integrate with existing in-place technologies. So with that, I'm just going to ask Chris to start walking through situational awareness, which is the term that Status Solutions uses to encompass the fact that it does far more than just call bells and nurse call systems.
Again, thanks for joining us and taking the time out of your busy day to learn a little bit about what Status Solutions terms situational awareness. For each of your facilities, what you need to think about is that this is a technology that goes beyond the typical nurse call, emergency response type solutions, wireless e-call, whatever you want to term the technology. This is about a technology that can monitor, alert, and report on every event that is of critical nature to your establishment. So whether it is someone that's needing duress, needing help anywhere within the building, or it's some type of environmental issue, whether it's a fire, a flood, temperature, it really doesn't matter. If there's something you need to have monitored, this technology can collect the information and then push out an alert to any communication device. So I can push events out to cordless phones, email, text messaging, cell phones, overhead pages, digital signage. There's really no limit as to where we can deliver a message to ensure that whatever is of concern to you is addressed quickly. And then lastly, collecting reports so that you can measure response times and look for means of improvement, or even simply mitigating risk to show family or loved ones or other people of concern the kinds of response times that you're able to deliver. Another major component of this is the areas in which we address this awareness. So we look at things from a point of view of environmentals. So whether you have to measure temperatures within medical refrigeration units, cafeterias, temperature in a particular room or server room, if we want to monitor fire panels, HVAC, technology ties into any and all existing environmentals, as well as provide those tools to allow you to monitor these things. From a security perspective, most businesses today have cameras, access control, security systems. The SARA solutions can not only integrate with each of these, but allow them to communicate with each other so that when a door is opened that is not supposed to be, we can also grab the video associated with that and present it to a caregiver. If there's a slip and fall outside, the system can locate the device and the nearest camera and also push that event through. From a life safety perspective, the system provides pendants, pull cords, bed chair sensors, motion sensors, and a host of sensors to ensure that if someone needs help, the system is able to detect that, alert on it, and escalate. And lastly here, what we term mass notification is the ability to push out events to any and all communication devices. So whether it is an outbreak on a facility of the flu and you need to let the family members know that they should not visit the property without checking first, or it's a lockdown due to a flood or fire, or any other type of event, the server is able to alert the masses, whether it is family, staff, senior executives. This can all be built into the system. One of the really powerful things with the mass notification that I always like to throw in is the ability to add things like medical reminders, appointment reminders, reminders to staff to execute particular tasks, whether it's weekly, monthly, or annually. So a whole host of capabilities within the server. I know it's a lot of stuff we've thrown at you, but let's try and help this make some sense. What does this, from a technology point of view, really mean in your facility? At the center of the solution is a server. So basically what we're doing is we're placing a purpose-built alert server in your facility. You own this, you manage this, the system is monitoring any and all events that is of importance to your facility. So we're taking alarms here, whether it is off of security devices, such as your security system, or sensors that we add for monitoring doors, windows, intrusion of any type, or the mobile sensors that we offer so that we can track residents or staff should they need help. So quite simply, the system is taking events or alerts off of various alarming devices. Within the server, we have a set of rules. The system allows unlimited rules and escalation, and then pushing those alarms out into intelligent alerts to any and all of your communication devices. So whether it's a cell phone that someone is carrying, or a pager, or a two-way phone or walkie-talkie, it really doesn't matter where you need to deliver the message. The system within the rules can say, if this individual needs help, these are the people that will be alerted and on what devices they're carrying. One of the key things to our solution, above and beyond what is on-premise, is our ability to monitor your server through our network operations center, shown here, off-premise. So 24/7, 365 days a year, we are monitoring your server. If there are any issues occurring, we're able to alert not only the facility, but service technicians so that problems can be addressed before there is an alarm that is not responded to. So you can be assured your system is always up and running and functional and being monitored and backed up in real time. This next slide, we've thrown it in here to give you an idea of the kinds of facilities that we might be covering. This is showing a property with multi-buildings. They have 5 different buildings, various heights. And our wireless technology will cover the entire property all the way out to the property line shown here. So if someone required help, whether it's inside the building, in an underground parking lot, out in a field or parking lot, or out by a gazebo, the system will be able to locate that person, giving responders who requires help and where they require. So the system might say, it's Mrs. Smith in the underground parking lot near parking space 255. People know exactly where to go and help that person. The thing about this technology is that it is completely wireless. So you do not require running any cables, disrupting the property in any manner. We simply plug in the repeaters and map the building. From there on, we're able to give location down to the room level, anywhere, within the property line of your facility. So, a few of the common devices that we have seen deployed in solutions. Pendants for residents and staff. So should someone require help, we can keep these people mobile and give their location anywhere on property. Pull cords in bathrooms, in public areas. Again, getting help quickly where it's needed. Other types of integrations in common properties are doing event notification and fire alarm notification. In other words, we're integrating to existing systems so that when there is any kind of event, we're able to escalate that faster. In the event of a fire, for example, often the response time is delayed by having to rush to the fire panel, read the information, announce that to get people active. The SARA system is tied directly into the panel. The moment there is an event, the system immediately is locating and escalating that situation to responders. All of our sensors and probes, again, they are fully wireless. So we can drop in door sensors, chair sensors, bed sensors, temperature sensors. And these are very commonly deployed. The temperature sensors for medical refrigeration units, for cafeterias, because these areas need to be monitored and tracked and have very valuable assets. Door sensors, being able to catch a resident leaving their apartment at 2 o'clock in the morning before they make it to the front door. So we're able to have faster response times. Some other capabilities of the solution is automating these processes. So having a methodology whereby the resident can be more independent and doesn't require someone to physically check on them. We have a number of ways to automate. Is a person up and moving around and okay? The system can automatically call, give a wake-up call each morning, and if the resident doesn't respond, can automatically push a report out to caregivers to take action. Pull cords, motion sensors, door sensors, these all are sort of non-active methods of checking in. You can set rules that we identify if someone is not up in the morning between 6 and 7 a.m., because that's their normal responding, the system could automatically alert someone that there's been no movement or no one has used the bathroom during this time, which is outside of normal practices. We can also track pendants, so if a pendant hasn't left the apartment or if that pendant is not being used, again, alert someone. One second, we have a hold up here on the slide. There we go. So this slide is just highlighting a few more of these devices. A couple of the ones that I like to talk about is, first of all, the water bug. This is a very powerful device and can save a lot of money in areas where you're concerned that a resident might forget a tap on, or in a utility area where there might be a risk of leaks. These are devices that can be deployed. If it senses water, can alert someone. The cigarette buster, very near and dear to me, because my grandfather was a person that smoked for many years and unfortunately one day fell asleep in bed and set the bed on fire. This device actually triggers on the signature or the heat signature of a cigarette, spark, or flame. So if we have residents that are at risk, again, it's a wireless device, looks like a sprinkler head that we can be placed in the apartment. The moment somebody strikes a match, you're alerted. Very different than a fire detector or smoke detector, because those devices only trigger after you have a fire and when it's already too late. Cigarette buster can prevent that. We have wall boards. Again, everything listed here is wireless and can be deployed with minimal intrusion to your facility or your resident. Okay, aside from monitoring and alerting, really important feature is the reporting capability. The reports are stored indefinitely and can be automatically emailed to management as needed. But it's also a very powerful tool that should there be an event and you need to go back and prove the response time to a slip and fall or to a pull cord or whatever it is, there's extensive reports that can be drilled down right to the single event or look at averages and longest response times, etc. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but just suffice it to say that every level and every event occurring within the system is monitored and reported and tracked. An important feature as part of our solution is training, because any solution is only as good as you use the solution. All of our solutions include unlimited training. So beyond initial setup and training that you would receive, there is ongoing training, both as an online user-led tool shown here. The staff can go in, open up the training tool, and can review any and all of the training that they'd received. But they can also set up live one-on-one training for the facility at any time, ensuring that you get maximum use out of the tool. Because all too often something is installed, after a year and a half, it's working, but nobody knows how to use it, how to change it, and a lot of its capabilities get forgotten. Training is a key, and we provide it both online and in person. That really concludes our training, should I say our webinar. I'm going to pass this back over to Paul McDevitt, just to close with a few statements and offer you to sign up for some upcoming events. Thanks for your attention and time again, and here's Paul.
Yeah, so I hope that this has given you a little bit of an understanding of the SARA system, and that it is actually much more than a simple nurse call replacement, because it can do so much. One of the things when we're talking to senior living customers is the fact that clearly offering the best care is paramount to them, but we can't just throw people at every single challenge. The only way to improve productivity is to offload some of that mundane or common routine tasks with something that automates it. And one of the things that the STATA Solution SARA system does well is clearly automating certainly routine tasks, but also those emergency situations that come up, such as a possible fire or smoke detection situation, or it could be even to do with weather-related issues. But the point is that the system can obviously automate those and ensure that we have timely response much better than any manual process could possibly do. So we're seeing significant productivity improvement with the customers that we're talking. Certainly many of the common tasks that Chris talked about come into play, but also the fact that in terms of risk automation. So the next set of webinars that we have lined up for you can see them here, the dates. We're actually going to drill down into very specific aspects of the SARA system. We're starting with fire safety, which we'll do on June the 9th, because we've had a lot of customers where the rules of the regulations around fire safety have changed, and many of them are not compliant, and the fire marshals are talking to them about how they can set themselves up to be compliant. And so we're seeing quite a few customers coming to us, and we're actually putting in SARA systems specifically to address smoke detection and improving the response times around smoke detection. But of course, once they have the system in, it can certainly do so much more for them. So we're going to go and address those, and you'll start to see some emails coming to you asking you to sign up for those webinars. And finally, if you want to either go back and review the particular webinar we've just covered, or pass on the link to your colleagues, we will be posting an email to you soon with a we'll be posting this webinar online and sending an email to you with the link to that webinar. So with that, I want to thank you for your time and look forward to seeing you in future webinars.